Hi, my name is Tara, and on behalf of fontbundles.net, I'll be showing you today how to make labels using the print and cut function on Cricut Design Space. Today, I will be using the Majestic bundle from fontbundles.net, and I will be specifically using the Morva font along with the encoded glyphs that come included with that particular font. The first thing you need to do when you make your own labels is to add your text. I have added my daughter's name as I'm going to be making labels for her school belongings. Once you have selected and written the words you would like, highlight it and then go to fonts. I am using the Morva font, so it is already up for me to use. Once you have done that, you need to use your character maps function on your PC, or if you have a MacBook, you will need to use Fontbook. To access your character maps, go to your control panel and you will find it under all programs, or in my case it is actually pinned to my my main drop down box. Once it has come up, you need to find the font you're using, which is Morva, and there it is there. Select it. Click on Group by Unicode Subrange. Then in the pop-up box, scroll down to Private Use Characters and all your glyphs will appear. I'm going to be using a P and a C today, so I'm going to find a P, double click, and then copy it. I'm going to click back on my design space, double click on my word, and then highlight the letter I'm going to change. Once I've done that, press Ctrl V, which will put a box in your text, but it brings the glyph up on your screen. I now need to do the same thing for the letter C. Now you can see we have our glyphs in, but they're not in the right place. We will need to ungroup our letters so we can adjust this. But before we do this, we have to ensure that everything we need to do to our words has been done before we ungroup, because once we regroup, we will not be able to do things like changing it from cut to uncut. We would have to do that to every individual letter. So highlight your words, which is Poppy Capewell, go to Layers and select your text. Here I can now change the color, which I'm doing there. And we also want to make this a print file, not a cut file. It's currently a cut file, so we go to Print and we click that as a print file. And you can see that the black line has disappeared, which was the cut line. Once we now have done this, we can click on our words, right click, and ungroup. We can now adjust these. So I'm going to move them across. And I'm going to do the same thing with the letter C. I've gone too far. There we go. I need to now move Capewell closer to Poppy, so I'm going to highlight that. And as a group, I'm going to move that back across. Once I have got it where I would like it, and you have to excuse my computer, it is very slow at the moment. As you're probably well aware, Cricut Design Space is an internet-based program, and I actually live in the bush, so we don't have very fast internet here. So I'm finding that the Cricut software does lag. Okay, so once we've done that and we've got it where we want it, we need to highlight them and group. The next thing we need to do is make the cut lines for the actual label. So to do that, we go to Insert Shape, click a square, which will come up our screen, unlock it, and change the size, which is probably big enough. I'm going to change the colour to white, or maybe actually I might do a lavender. It's quite nice. And then I'm actually going to arrange to send this to the back. By doing that, when I drag the word over, it will sit perfectly. Now you have them together, select them both, and again, group. I would suggest this is now locked, and then you can then rearrange the size to whatever size you want to cut, which I'm going to cut. One's about 2.5. You can then decide how many you would like, and you can duplicate by clicking the duplicate button at the bottom here, and you can see that come up, and you can adjust it and make as many as you need. Once you have all of the labels you would like, it's now time to print them and now cut them. The one thing you need to remember though is that when you do any kind of print and cut, if you leave them as they are, the software itself tries to make whatever you cut the most economical possible. So if I now click on the go, you will see it will come up. It's thinking about it. And it will come up with all the text on top of each other. And it will then have, as a separate sheet, all of the labels themselves, which we don't want. To avoid this, all you need to do is to highlight all of your labels that you're using, or whatever you're going to be printing and cutting, right click and attach. By doing that one simple step, that will ensure your print and cut will be exactly the same as what you see on the screen. And you'll see now that it will reload after me doing this, and that it has now done it as a print and cut. So I will now click on the go, follow the instructions, which will tell me to now print, and you'll see the registration marks come up. Now, if I want to, I can actually move this on the page as well. As long as it's within this area, I'm okay with that. Once I've printed it, I will then put it through my Cricut machine and cut it. Please stay tuned for the rest of the blog post. There will be plenty of photos showing you how the print and cut function works and how the final product looks. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please have a look at the other blog posts at fontbundles.net, and also check out the Majestic Bundle by fontbundles.net, as it is a fantastic bundle. Thank you.